Hey, how's it going? I'm Johnny. This is my boat, which is currently going under a name change right now. I recently lost my grandmother, who loved adventure and exploring, and I'm changing the name of the boat in her honor. So stay tuned for that. But I've been living aboard this boat for about a year and a half now. I'm 27 years old and an officer in the Navy, and this is my tiny home. All right, so this is the aft or the forward helm station. So we got one down here and then one up on the flybridge as well. Right down here, we've got our throttles and our helm, and then some of our navigation station equipment, as well as the deck log, super important. So you've got your throttle here, and then your clutch here, so you can go from forward to neutral and reverse, and then the throttle obviously just increases the RPMs on the engine, and you indicate that up here at the RPM dial and gauge. Then you've got your other sensory inputs here, your electricity, the fuel tank, the oil pressure, and then the temperature of the engine, as well as the start and stop, and then the wipers and the horn, all that good stuff. And we've also wired in a charging port here that works off the generator power, and then the generator genset starts here. So you got to preheat it, and then you can turn it over right there. And the helm console is actually on a hydraulic line. So you can set up an autopilot system. We've got an autopilot system down there, and the engagement is up top with the interface with the chart display, which is right here. All right, so now we're in the galley. We've kind of just shifted gears over here. Small galley, but I mean, it's just me living here, so it works out pretty well. Got a little spice rack over here. We've got a sink. We're thinking about installing a new sink here just because this one, it's kind of a little gummed up underneath. There might be some sand particles in it that causes it to, sometimes distribute the water in weird ways. But it's a nice deep sink. Fits all my dishes and plates and pots and pans and stuff for cleaning them, which is great. And then the water pump's in great shape. That's brand new. Right here we've got this the Dometic stove and oven stovetop unit. It runs off propane, so you just have to switch off the propane right here and then go up top and turn on the propane tank. And then this piece of the counter here lifts up, and you got a 3-burner stove. You just got to put the grate on top of it, as well as an oven, which is great for cooking and all sorts of stuff. We've also got a grill up top. I've been using the grill a lot more lately since the weather's a little warmer, but this works out pretty well. And then also up here, got this trusty Black & Decker toaster oven / air fryer. Thing's awesome. It was $20 at Target. Perfect for what we need on the boat. Then looks like I'm fresh out of paper towels here, but this is our paper towel holder. And then a fruit basket up here for fruit. Right now, I'm fresh out of fruit, so it's been holding my masks and bandanas and stuff like that. In this drawer, we got all our forks and knives, chopsticks, all that good stuff. Here, spatulas, bigger knives, even bigger knives, sharpening stone, all the good kitchen stuff that you need. And then down here is just kind of like wax paper and like plastic baggies and tin foil and all that good stuff. And then down here is like more of the bigger pots and pans, stuff that I'll use to cook on the stove with. All right, so over here, got my coffee maker, and kind of keep my water bottles and stuff over here. But there's actually like a lot of storage in this little thing right here. So I've got kind of a sliding drawer here for cups and glasses and all that good stuff. And there's actually still a lot of room left in here. Up here, got space for like a lot of snacks and food. Again, I need to go to the grocery store very badly, but this is where I keep all that stuff. Down here, got the fridge, loaded up with stuff right now. And then we've also got a freezer at the top part of the fridge, and then I keep my Yeti cooler back aft, which keep most of the drinks and stuff and beer in and stuff like that, so don't really need to take up space with all that in here. All right, this is kind of like my favorite place to sit right here. So we've got a couch here and then a couch right over there. This is like a nice little L-shaped love seat. So the table here, it's good size right now for just eating and drinking and stuff like that if we were going to sit around it, but it actually expands on both sides, and you lower it down to about the same level as the other cushions, and then you take the other cushions from the other couch, and you can actually sleep a couple more people over here if we needed to. We had to do that once on our trip to Catalina, and it actually came in handy. But this has mainly been like kind of the movie watching station. Like we'll kind of just chill back here, put the movie screen up forward with the screen, and then the projector back aft over here, and it just kind of projects forward. It's pretty awesome. So this is the port side bench. This is the opposite bench that I mentioned. So these cushions will go over there, sit on the table if we wanted to make another bed. Then also, this is my buddy Joe likes to sit here. This is kind of his spot where he naps and sits down. But this is a good little bench. Got some storage underneath. That's pretty much it. So as a navigator and a licensed merchant marine, this is probably one of my most prized possessions right here. This is your standard marine sextant. It's a Tamiya. Some of the other ones are like these are very expensive. This one wasn't made in Germany, but the ones that are made in Germany are very expensive. The optical pieces alone are a lot of money. But so this is we use these on the ships to measure pretty much the angle of altitude between a star and the horizon, and it helps us get a position, a celestial fix. So this is like the oldest form of navigation. It's the more of the art part of navigation rather than the science. And this is just such a beautiful piece of gear, and love having it on board the boat. This is my little bonsai tree. This is a new addition to the family here. So like I said earlier, I recently lost my grandmother, and in the process of renaming the boat in her honor, this was her bonsai tree, and it's pretty awesome. I love having it here, trying to take care of it, do the best I can. For me, I grew up on the water in Boston, New England, so that was pretty much my whole life. Like my father was in the Navy for 30 years, grandfather was in the Navy for 30 years. I went to school and to college for boats, for shipping, merchant marine by trade, and then ended up in the Navy. And so this kind of just seemed like the best fit. Always wanted to do it, but when I first moved out to San Diego, me and my buddies were always renting houses together and just kind of, just partying and doing our own thing here while we were in San Diego. And obviously someone from Boston coming to San Diego for the first time, this place was like paradise with the weather beautiful all the time, and just super happy where I ended up. I think, so my last year, about a year and a half ago, I got selected for a job where I was gonna have to deploy every 6 months. So I rented out my house, and I've got some tenants in there now, and I got the boat. As I mentioned before, my buddy Joe and I found this boat, looking up some maintenance for my buddy Joe's boat, and I got it from a great guy, and since I was going to be deploying every 6 months, decided that this was going to be the best life. I'm not going to be here all the time. I'm not going to spend $2,000 on a one-bedroom apartment in San Diego down in the city. So this ended up being the best decision I could have ever made. That job that I was selected for early command of a patrol craft, it didn't end up materializing. The Navy decommissioned the platform. So now I am a ship handling instructor here in San Diego. So I come back to the boat every day to my house, and then I go to work and teach new officers in the Navy how to drive ships. So it's paradise, man. This is awesome. I'm truly lucky to live here. Got great neighbors. This marina is awesome. Two of my closest friends live right around the corner, and we just have a blast. So I got my bed right here, which is like a full queen bed, and it kind of ducks underneath, so the half the bed's kind of underneath the deck that's up top. There's some great storage under here. I also got my fuel tanks underneath there. So there's really, other than this drawer, the kind of the fuel tank takes up most of the space under the bed. Got my little nightstand here, drawers for like just remote controls and some various stuff that I need, chargers and stuff like that. Got a TV right here. I usually hook up the iPad to the TV so I can like watch shows on the TV from my iPad. And then these stairs right here are actually all storage. So these open up for drawers all the way down. And then it's also goes up to the aft companionway right here, which is just another hatch. And keeping it open at night in the summertime gets some awesome air and light back here. So the guys that work with teak, these marine carpenters, they don't really call it carpentry, they call it joinery work. So like as you can see, these little studs, these little teak studs right here kind of go in the place of screws. So it really makes it look like it's one solid piece of wood. And that's kind of the art of working with marine carpentry and joinery work. So we cut the bed right here. There used to be a drawer here, so now there's just this space under here. I'm looking for like a nice little piece of carpet square to put down here underneath my feet. The desk opens up. It's kind of like your typical chart table. So you'd put a chart down. You can put some glass or some plexiglass over it, so you can always reference it. And that's kind of how I built it, based off like a chart table system, like on a ship. And it works out great. Got a ton of room for all my stuff here. Paperwork, binders, and then my laptop. And then this is kind of my journal, my daily journal. I try to write something in it every day. You know, just stuff that pops into my head, little quotes that I remembered, stuff that I want to remember. Got about 2 of them filled up so far, so just continuing that tradition. So I got a stand-up closet up forward where I keep a lot of my stuff. We'll go check that out, but this is my one back here. Got all my Hawaiian shirts in it, and just belts and some various stuff. It's a deep closet, so down here there's a lot of other stuff. Got a little heater down here, some emergency gear, the flare gun, all that good stuff. So if I'm ever in a pinch, this is where I can grab my stuff. So this is the bathroom back aft, or the head. It's pretty spacious. Got the head there, sink, a lot of storage. I could shower on board, but I don't really particularly like to, just because it uses a lot of my water. So I usually just take my towel and that shower bag and go up to the cool little shower facilities that the marina has for us. Yeah, so under the stairs on the way to the stateroom here, there's just so much storage on these boats. So like honestly, usually everything has a piece of wood that lifts up to another box where you can keep stuff, and these stores are no exception. So right here, there's actually more storage under here, and then some stuff that leads down to the engine room. But we'll check the engine room out here in a minute. All right, so this is our electric panel right here. It's a 12-volt DC system. There's also an AC system as well. So right now we're on shore power, so the breaker's on shore power. You can switch it to off if we're getting underway, where the engine's rotations will just kind of charge the batteries and stuff like that. Or you could switch to the generator set. We've got a Caterpillar generator back aft as well. That'll give us power if we're on a mooring and we don't have access to, or at anchor, and we don't have access to shore power, so we can still charge those batteries and bring that up to speed. There's also, you can switch between the 1 and 2 battery, the house battery, or the regular starter battery. And then right down here, you've got your voltage and amperage battery monitor. So right now, standard shore power with all the standard amenities turned on, it's about 13.74 volts. And then, yeah, you just kind of can switch these breakers on for all sorts of different things that you might need. When we get underway, we shift off from shore and then turn off the main switch, and then all that stuff will just run off the engine's revolutions. And then next to the breaker panel and the electricity panel, in here we've got another closet with some more hanging space. So again, 2 really good sized hanging closets. This is more like dressy stuff that I don't wear too much, but it's all here if I need it. All right, so up here in the V berth, so this is kind of like the guest bedroom. Got another bathroom right here, another head. And then I just kind of keep my stuff that I really can't store anywhere else up here, because there's some pretty good sized shelves here. So, all right, so down here, this is the guest bathroom. So you can see you got a head, shower. This is normally where the shower is and where we would shower if we were showering on board. But it's kind of turned into a uniform locker for all my uniforms for work. And then also keep a lot of my foul weather gear down here. So like full rain suits, cold weather gear, various different things. Yeah, but right now it's definitely more of a closet than a bathroom for sure. I think the hardest thing to deal with is probably, you know, learning and making sure that I am giving the boat the proper love and attention that it needs maintenance-wise. At first, it was kind of like a daunting task to figure out, okay, this piece of equipment needs this maintenance, like I need to change the oil at this time. But, you know, once I get into the groove of, you know, keeping my stuff logged and all that good stuff, it's pretty easy to do, and it's a labor of love for sure. Changing the oil out in the injector, changing the fuel oil filters, changing the main engine oil. Thankfully, we've got the Ford Lehman guide that helps me make sure that I remember all that stuff. But there's just a lot. There's a lot to take care of and a lot to make sure that you're keeping up with, for sure. Favorite part about living on the boat is that I can pretty much just up and go whenever I want to. Like if I get some time off from work, I can just take this boat out and I don't have to tell anyone where I'm going. Don't have to, you know, plan too hard. Like we recently, a couple months ago, went on a trip to Catalina in this boat. We took this boat from San Diego, left pretty early in the morning, went to Oceanside, stopped there for the night, had dinner in Oceanside, then got up at like 4 a.m., took the boat to Catalina, and stayed there on a mooring in Avalon for about 5 nights. It was a great trip, first big trip on this boat. It was a huge success. The engine held up, everything held up great. It was perfect, we had a blast. So I just removed all the galley flooring and the salon flooring right here, and then this reveals and opens up our engine room down here. So this red Ford Lehman 120, this is what powers the engine. It's an old tractor engine, super reliable. It's a great engine. It's got about 3,500 hours on it, and that's like not even a dent in what it can do. These are pretty typical engines for boats of this age and era. Definitely for the makes for my boats, as well as a lot of my buddies' boats have the same engines. This is my portside battery bank right here. So again, we got the panel system up here. These are battery sets 1, and the house batteries. Keep these over here. And then off to my starboard over here, we've got the other battery set 2. Over here we've got our freshwater pump. Like I said, this was recently replaced right before I bought the boat, so it's in great shape. And then right over here to my left, or to its left, there's the hot water tank and the hot water heater. So this, don't use this too much because, like I said, don't shower on board all that often. But this is where it is right here if I wanted to heat up my water for the shower. Cool. So this is our generator right here, like we talked about earlier. So I can run the generator when we're at anchor or at a mooring and we don't have access to shore facilities. So I can still keep those batteries charged, make sure that we can keep the lights on and the laptops charged. And this was an add-on. So this engine is newer than the main engine and the rest of the boat, and it works pretty darn well. It charges the batteries pretty quick, and it's great if we're on a long trip and don't have access to shore power. All right, so up here we're on the flying bridge. So this is where the top helm station is, and like some other navigation equipment up here. Also the propane for the galleys up here, as well as the small ones for the grill. So I've got my indicators right here for RPM and heat and oil pressure, all that good stuff. Another set of throttles and clutch, as well as a helm station. We've got another bridge-to-bridge radio here. This is a little bit more high-powered, and it has a GPS interface, so it can get us our GPS position. GPS unit right here. This interfaces with the one that's down below, as well as the autopilot system. And then the autopilot system is down here, kind of by my knee, and you can just turn it on and engage it either from this panel or from the chart plotter, and then you can literally use the dial to turn the course to whichever course you want, and it'll kind of set it and forget it there. All right, so this is a little lounge chair up here. Come up here and just kind of relax and chill out. There's some good space up here. These chairs take up a lot of room, and if they're not up here, it's actually a pretty big open space. But the guests seem to like these chairs, so we leave them up here. It's just a teak chair, so we kind of keep them rubbed up with teak oil so that they stay nice and fresh, and the sun doesn't kill them too much, and they're holding up pretty nice. It was a good purchase. So this mast here, this main mast, and the boom right here is what I use to kind of hold up my dinghy. So the dinghy just kind of latches in on the back of the swim platform, folds up, and then I can keep it in place with the mast and this rigging system right here. Dinghy engine right here. So it's kind of on a little teak platform, and then whenever you're ready to use the dinghy, you just lower it down into the water, place the engine on the back, and then you're good to go. So looking at the stern view of the boat right now, crack this open from the top, and then open this hatch, and goes down to the aft cabin where I sleep, and creates a great breeze, a lot of natural light coming down there, and it's pretty awesome. Not all the trawlers that we have seen have these, so this is pretty great. I'm super stoked about this part of the boat. It really makes all the difference. If you open up that forward hatch and then open up this one, there's constant breeze, constant airflow. It's great. Me and my buddies, we've been talking about going to Mexico, like either Ensenada or Rosarita, and then also looking into the Channel Islands up north. That's a great spot. I know the previous owner of this boat liked to go to the Channel Islands a lot, and he's got a few spots mapped out. We've got some plans already drawn up on the chart that we have here, so we could follow that plan. But definitely looking forward to taking some time off in the future and taking a few more trips. All right, everyone, thanks for checking out my tiny home here and for following along in this journey with me. You can follow me at RealJohnnyAlbany on Instagram, as well as my trawler page with my buddy at Crown City Trawlers. And then, yeah, stick around for that name reveal, because we're going to come up with a new name for this boat in memory of my grandmother, and super stoked for you guys to see that, and stay tuned for that.